Sorry I'm backlit here, but I can't get, there's no place to get light in my face when I'm at the computer. I wanted to make a video just showing some music that I started writing but never finished. I don't know if I ever will finish any of this stuff. Some of it is pretty bad, some of it is kind of decent. So let's get started here. Here's one that I started March, actually, that I started probably more than 10 years ago. I was calling it Appreciation March. I did 2 strains. I really like it. I'd like to finish it someday. I don't know why I never continued it. The last bit is actually, the last few measures you'll hear are actually my first idea for the second strain, so that's actually being deleted. So, yeah, I should also point out that these MIDI files generally don't have any performance aspect put into them, so they're going to be kind of raw and rough sounding. Yeah, that's pretty nice March. It's got multiple voicings in the first strain. That's pretty cool. This next one is half of a strain that I started writing a while back. It's kind of so I just kind of gave up on it. The key thing with that one was that it was a roaming left hand. The bass notes were changing while you had basically the same melody over and over again on top. So the chords are changing underneath. Next one here is an intro for a slow rag. I really like this. I'd really like to use it. I'm just not very good at writing lyrical, beautiful rags. But I really like this. I would like to use this for something. Really nice, a little minor 7th chord in there. This one is actually half of it's mine, half of it belongs to Andrew Barrett. I'd sent him. He had asked for anything that I had started writing and hadn't finished years ago, and so I sent him sheet music that I had made for these fragments, and he really liked this one fragment, though he didn't realize that I was thinking this as a fast piece, so he played it really slowly, and then he added a second strain. In lieu of a title, I just called it Squirrel Nuts, and he actually likes the title. So this one, the first strain is mine. I'm putting the tempo here kind of in the middle, because it's a little bit faster than what he had for his second strain, but slower than what I had for the first strain originally. And he has all sorts of performance aspect into his strain. The problem is that he's such an amazing composer. My stuff just cannot compare. I think he really should rewrite my strain, kind of fit in with his. When you'll hear his strain, it almost sounds like Vince Guaraldi or something. It sounds like it should be in a Peanuts cartoon. It's really just outstanding. So the first half of this is mine, and then the second half belongs to Andrew Barrett. isn't what he did amazing? And so for a third strain, I actually had whistled into a recorder and transcribed my whistling, just the melody note, and I gave it some basic idea for bass notes. I just sent that to him and said, like, write it yourself, because there's no way I can write to the caliber that he can. So I don't know if anything will ever become of this. I would hope that he would rework my first strain to make it more cohesive with what he wrote, because what he wrote is just so amazing. This next one is fairly recent. I wrote this shortly after moving to Nevada. At first I was calling it Reno Rambler, but I don't like that title. I decided to call it Washoe Zephyr Rag. And I think it's the first 2 strains right now, and I can't really figure out what to do with this, but I'd like to continue this at some point. Maybe someday I'll finish that one. Here's another really, really old one. I came up with the title Munchies. And I thought, there should be something called Munchies. And this was an attempt at starting something like that. But it's not all that good. It's pretty wild. Penultimate chord there. This next one is I came up with the title Jumpstarting the Piano. This is because one time as I left the West Coast Ragtime Festival one year, I got to the parking lot and discovered that I had accidentally left the parking lights on my motorcycle turned on, and as a result the battery had drained. So I went back into the hotel to see if I could find somebody who had jumper cables, but just as I was going in the door, Tom Breyer was coming out, so I asked him, and he had jumper cables, and so he jump-started my motorcycle. And so on the way home, I got the idea for jump-starting the piano. I imagined a cover, right, with a piano with jumper cables going into it. So this was jump-starting the piano, the idea that I had. It starts out, the effect is supposed to be like trying to start the engine, then finally fires. And this one I experimented with some minor seconds there in the first strain. transitions between the different themes there don't quite work, particularly that second strain that transitions back into the repeat. There's some decent ideas in there, though. I really don't know what to do with it. And this is getting close to 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to make this a part 1 and a part 2, so that'll be the end for part 1.